Okay.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the School of Bitcoin. Just two of us have joined in today. Hopefully we might see some others drop by this morning. Karen said she might drop in. So Electra, you've been busy out on the road. What's been happening?
Yeah, I've just come back from Sydney. I went down for XeroCon. The accounting business technology people are starting to notice Web3, and they asked me to come speak about blockchain to lots of accountants at the big Coachella for accountants. It was quite fun, and yeah, we had a packed turnout, and yeah, we got to talk about what's coming in Web3, what it means for our industry and for business and global money, and talked about what Digital Playhouse does, why to read this Bitcoin white paper, and yeah, we've got a lot of awareness out there now amongst these professional circles of what we're doing at Digital Playhouse.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. So what's the vibe on, I guess, a lot of these programs? You've got lots of different people from industry, big industry, small industry, crypto communities. What's the vibe on Bitcoin itself? Does much get talked about Bitcoin?
I think since there's been a bit more talk from the RBA on central bank digital currencies, I think there's more realisation that digital currencies are an imminent thing, that it's just now everyone's having to make sense of it all. They feel a pressure to make sense of it all quickly. And so I think that's half the resistance is at this stage is just the overwhelm. So, you know, I'd like some feedback from people on how to address that overwhelm and yeah, help people kind of on board to the ideas and get a little experience. So that's our next thing to solve.
Yeah, it's there's a lot to take in this space. I think it's quite full on. Well, some of the things that we're doing at the School of Bitcoin and the Bitcoin Australia meetups is to help people get that knowledge and understanding. I've got up on our agenda for what's the next topic for the Bitcoin Australia meetup. I posted it into Discord. I need to learn how to put a vote or get an ideas pool or something. So no one's responded to that one yet. But I
haven't been in Discord because it beeps at me all the time. I turn it off and now it won't open. I will come back. Sorry, I've been absent.
That's okay. So I thought that a good topic after running after the nodes would be cold storage wallets.
Yeah.
You know, I know there's plenty of people in the community that would have good knowledge about them. I've never used a cold card wallet. I'd like to learn more about that. You know, what's the difference between these Air wallets and then the mainstream traditional wallets like Trezor and Ledger?
Yeah.
And you know, maybe learn a bit more about multisig, the Electrum wallet Kieran's talked about. We've got a bit of work to do to set up our multisigs for the School of Bitcoin and Digital Playhouse.
Yeah.
So yeah, if I posted that up as a conversation piece and getting some experts. And I thought another one, you know, getting a bit of a list of topics ahead. There could be the next, and another one could also be Lightning wallets, because you've got your custodial, your non-custodials. Yeah, and there's a whole range in there. So anyway, we'll see what everyone thinks about that. If you don't mind, anyone that gets to watch this, drop into Discord and tell us any topics, or is there any topics you thought that Bitcoin Australia might cover in our monthly meetups?
I think wallets is a great one. I think that should be the topic for the next one. And if we can invite people to come and bring their experience, and especially experience at an enterprise company level, would be great to know about too. What do you do when you, like the multi-sig and how that's handled? Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. And I think it's important too that if we can get some people to document their journey. I know, say for example, a project we're being jumped in on, and who that as a result of we were seeking legal services for the Digital Playhouse and how to structure the School of Bitcoin. And from that, it's led on to where Joni Pirovich, a lawyer we spoke to, has now kicked off leading a community to create LawFi DAO.
Yes, we should mention we're members of that.
Oh, yeah, cool. Yeah. So we actually, the Digital Playhouse, are members of LawFi DAO, and LawFi DAO's objective is to provide affordable legal services in, it would be what we're calling a pay to rely model. But, you know, what I'm learning out of that project is every step that you've got to take and documenting it. So as the different companies, organizations, startups, it's like knowing the process. Like first step
They're
is
doing it from scratch rather than getting a DAO from like MakerDAO off the shelf and following. They're doing it from scratch to find the gaps and the issues that do need bespoke attention.
Yeah, so I challenge anyone in our community that's building a project is to document your pathway. And if it's going to be in a Git book or something like that, which you can then start to build out your tools. So if you create a project, say out of Stacks, you create you go through the School of Bitcoin, get your curriculum certificate, and you start a project. Then what is your process for your project? If you've got how are you going to get your users on board? So do they know how to get a Stacks wallet? Do they know, just the real simple basic stuff. So setting up your Hyro wallet or whatever wallet you're connecting with. And I've seen that in a lot of the projects they're using Gitbook to document all that. So I thought,
that's a barrier to adoption, isn't it? That people just don't know where to start and what to do. It's like not knowing how to do your books, but an accountant, obvious example, like just not getting started, and it holds you back from all that participation. And another good, just on the topic of processes, another motivation, this is something we're studying at the moment in Accountants on Chain, is business process NFTs, business process and information NFTs, so that you might develop a good process. I don't know how to do this, but it can be done apparently. And that can be minted, that process, that knowledge can be minted as an NFT. So when someone wants to use it, you get a licensing fee or something.
I love that. I love that. These are different business models that are coming out. I dropped in a chat earlier today about what business model would you have, like a pay to rely, a pay to whatever it is, or I use it and it's like I watch a clip and I pay a micro payment. There's so many new systems and economic models for your business. That's pretty exciting.
What is pay to rely?
Pay to rely is the actual model for Lo-Fi DAO.
Yeah. Did they come up with it or does it exist?
Oh no, I think as I'm aware, it might be something that Lo-Fi DAO or Joni and the lead team are creating.
Yeah.
So one of the working
groups. They have a pay to rely subcommittee to work that out as a business model for providing legal services.
Yeah, so anyone that's building a DAO, if you want to follow a process of how a DAO has been built from scratch, it's like a DAO first in Australia. Like there's a couple of ways to create a DAO. One would be to create a community and then create a DAO. Or you just come out and you go, we're going to create a DAO. So DAO first, meaning we're rolling in and creating a DAO in whatever jurisdiction we're in. And in Australia, that, well, there isn't the legal structures in place to accommodate DAOs from what I can see. But anyways, we're going to learn all about that in Lo-Fi DAO. So it's a really interesting process for anyone thinking about building a project. That's going to be a DAO, just to watch one being built in Australia and all the different things that you've got to navigate. So pretty cool.
So when we post this up to YouTube, we'll have a link to Lo-Fi DAO in there to encourage others.
Yeah, perfect. So just a couple of things this week. I guess probably each week is about what activities we're taking to build our community. So this week I made some ground in the Gladstone community. So I went, okay, well, all of us can make it the biggest impact in our own local communities. So once we have the School of Bitcoin up and running and we've got our curriculum running, well, who's going to use it? So our own circle of influence are going to be the first people that we can actually work with to get there. And if we're building projects, it can be in our own community. So I'm on the management committee for Startup Gladstone, and we've got an incredible new committee team of committee members. And I put up to them that, that I was keen to, we've been working on a blockchain and Bitcoin strategy in Gladstone for a long time. So I put it up to the team that what can we do in the universities? I think I started out with the objective of the Clarity Code camps, and who in the Gladstone region can we tap into? The cybersecurity people, the coders, and the like. So as it turns out, a bunch of the people in the team all said, look, we want to be involved in that project. So we've got like a team of 4 that are all keen to learn about or either know about Bitcoin, or they're in cybersecurity, or they work with CQ University. So yeah, that's going to be an exciting thing. So we've got some traction to get into a wider community around us. And there's also an event in Bundaberg called the Bar Camp, which there's no agenda on the day. You just rock up and you can present whatever you want to present. So I'll be there presenting for the School of Bitcoin.
Okay,
and finding, and with a goal
of
of
an event on our actual website so people know to turn up and they'll promote it.
yeah, awesome. And out of that, my goal is to find a bunch of students, universities or professionals or school students to roll into our first Clarity Camp.
Yeah.
So that'll be the outcome. So thinking about in your own communities, what can you do? Kieran's got his event coming up next month with, I think, 400 kids. Is it something like 400 kids attending? So if each person in the School of Bitcoin community is doing something in their area, so we can work towards a Clarity Camp, I think that's one. I think it would be a good strategy.
And so, and how's it going with Stacks? Have you been attending? You guys have been attending the chapter onboarding?
Yeah, I have been rolling up. Kieran and I think have been regular, and Karen has also been rolling up to those. You learn so much.
I know I've tried to, but been away the last week or two, so going to try and stay up tonight for it.
Yeah, it is hard to spread yourself around things, all the different projects you might be involved in. But coming back to
because I wanted to attend just to learn it, like so that I understand how to talk about it to people. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think one of the things dealing with the Stacks community, there was a YouTube the other day posted by I think she's the head of the foundation in Stacks. It's about recruiting the right people and recruiting people in the bear market. And out of that there, it said really that Stacks and Hiro systems and the trust machine and anyone associated with Stacks, I mean, the caliber of the people that they hire is like the best they can find. So when you get to hang out with these people in a meetup situation and then join together with a bunch of other people that they've chosen to join, Stacks chapters around the world, like the guys from London, the guys from Austin, Texas, Indonesia, it's pretty amazing. You learn so much so quickly from these guys. So I'm really enjoying that.
So what's Stacks NFTs?
Sorry again? Stacks
NFTs. What's that?
So after today's event, hopefully Brett is responding to me from Grammar. So Brett is in the Discord. He's the community lead for Gamma. So he's based out of Melbourne. He and Kieran have met a couple of times. So yeah, we one of the things that Stacks, the Stacks chapter growth meetup is about is growing our community and taking care of the people and working with the people who are in our community. So we've got a pretty small community at the School of Bitcoin and Stacks at the moment. So if we each support each other's projects to grow each part, that's sort of like our most important people. It's not about volume, I think, here. It's about our first, well, at the moment, there's probably like 10 core people that are contributing to Stacks Australia and the School of Bitcoin. So how can we help each one of those? So how can we help the Dev Nation grow their community and do these cross collaborations, I guess. So NFTs are certainly, we spoke about it there last week.
I see, gamma.io.
Yep. And and if you check out the Discord chat, Brett's got the Parrots project.
Oh, that's him.
Yeah. So really keen after this meeting. It was just about what can we do? So if anyone wants to jump in and have a chat with Brett after this, I've set up an event at 10:30. Hopefully he's replied. So I can post the link for that there.
Okay.
Also thought about some things about how to grow our community in the VC world.
Yeah.
And so I guess choosing people who we want to align with. And that's our community can decide, what that is. But we've got a determination in the School of Bitcoin to be open source And so working with other community and you know, what are our values and the like. So one VC group that I've been following for quite some time is AirTree.
Yeah.
So AirTree have an incredible resource that's open source for startups. And it answers a lot of questions, and it's all free about, you know, how to navigate all the processes of going through right from the beginning as a startup, right through to being, you know, right through all your funding rounds, and how to do that to preserve your ownership of the company or the project, whatever it is that you're doing. And they've got John Henderson as one particular person that's absolutely huge on Web3. I've got his link there on Twitter. So I've reached out to John just to say, I've reached out to John just to say, hey, look, we're building out Stacks Australia, looking to connect with some great people in the space. And yeah, so let's see if John comes back to us. Because I think, yeah, building out all the different elements of in Australia for, you know, how to start, you know, the whole different steps going through the building your projects. And VCs are obviously one of the key parts. Where's the money coming from? We have had the guys, Michael Cotton on from Mel Ventures. We'll reach out to them again. They had some of their team having a look at Stacks after they made that inquiry, and were introduced to them by Adam from the Stacks Foundation. So I thought also is, where's the money coming from? I've got a bit of work to do to generate some interest in philanthropic contributions to the projects that we're working on. Electra and I, we're ready to do a session on that, I think.
Yeah, like, I mean, generally working for a charity, when you're a charity startup founder, for most I've dealt with, they usually don't get paid in the first year or two. That's cool, because we're just sort of building things. It's like a side gig, but we want to build something that's not just for us here, but the reason why we're set up as a charity is so that it can benefit more people. And for us to have that broader social impact, we do need sort of broader social input. And in the early stages, there does need to be some contribution for us to, you know, we can't build the learning systems on our own. We can't build everything on our own or fund it or pay for the projects. We also don't want to be just reliant on government grants. They're difficult to apply for. They have a very long lead time, project time. We need to move faster. So we need to come up with ways to kind of fundraise from people who will be invested in what we do, because they'll be involved. What do you think, Gordon?
Yeah, I agree. And there's that can be, I guess, on a couple fronts. One is definitely back to the local again.
Yeah.
You know, what are you going to provide? What's the purpose here for you in your own local community? So, you know, I've got the guys, I guess Deep Nation have got a global community, but based around the Sydney area. Kieran's in Melbourne, we're up here.
We've got our little local communities, but we're all sort of connecting with each other. We're in a web. Yeah,
so the local, I think, is a good thing. On a bigger scale, there are some, for Jill, Gitcoin grants are open again.
Okay.
That's probably a whole session in itself that we should go, okay, what grants, if we're going to do a Gitcoin grant, how does that work? And let's get the process going. It takes some contribution. So it's like a dollar for dollar type grant. So someone puts in $1, they'll match it. It is
fundraise from our community, and it could be matched.
Yeah, by Gitcoin. Yep, but they are only open for a certain period of time. So round 15 kicks off. Okay. I could actually share that screen if we like.
Yeah, that'd be good to see. I'm also
maybe we'll just
go the quadratic funding. That's interesting to learn about. Yeah.
Where are we? Okay, you got there? Got that there?
Yep.
So it kicks off on September 7.
We're away. till the 22nd. That's just next week.
Yep. So I've got a week here for anyone that wants to jump in.
Yeah.
Total of $2.8 million in a match funding round.
Okay.
Climate solutions, crypto regulation, diversity, equity, inclusion.
So what is Gitcoin?
So Gitcoin's it's for each projects.
Yeah, right.
I couldn't. Okay, so it's full down. Community builders and creators.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just looking at the different grant pools from the Gitcoin DAO and their communities.
So all open source, range of tools. Yeah, so I think that it'd be good if we can jump in on a session here. It is a predominantly, I believe, in like an ETH based project.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we should dive in and have a look at that. And I also found OpenSats. Now, OpenSats, I'm not sure if we've talked about OpenSats before. OpenSats is for Bitcoin projects. So really, pretty much, I mean, the criteria to go for an OpenSats is very much about the technology of Bitcoin. So, you know, we've got some people here. These are some current funds that are open. So some of them are, say, for example, a Bitcoin core developer looking for some support. Yeah, so I didn't know if we had something in there that would be, you know, that we could look at specific to Bitcoin through the School of Bitcoin. The Ronin Dojo, if we recall, at the Bitcoin Meetup, Tiggs mentioned about being a Lightning node project. Yeah, a Lightning node project. So yeah, so check out OpenSats, everyone. See if, well, two things. If you want to support Bitcoin, then some of these projects need some support. So you can donate, or you may have a project which you can spark up for yourself that's worthy of having the Bitcoin community support.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much, just on Stacks as well. One other thing from me, looking for the all-in-one resource for Stacks. When we were building out the Discord, I found it was like connecting a lot of dots from a lot of different places. And then I took a look at Reddit, Stacks Reddit, and Stacks Reddit has probably what I found to be the most up-to-date and complete resource.
Oh yeah, it's really active.
Where's the, just looking at the Stacks compendium, isn't it? Just look here. Okay, so in the Stacks compendium, we've got every resource that you can think of in here. So learn about Stacks, protocols, SIPs, what is Stacks, all the essential tools, everything about stacking, mining, developers, Clarity, videos, Clarinet.
We need to link to this.
All the libraries.
Put a link in that in the document, the meeting document, please, Gordon.
Sure.
Go out to everyone. Yeah.
I put I did post it in Discord as well in the About Stacks Australia as the bottom one for after having compiled our own resource.
Yeah.
Yes, I'll put that in there. So yeah, it was pretty cool to find that resource and pretty easy to go through. Oh, there we go. So you got anything else you want to chat about today, Electra?
No, I'm just about to do an Accountants on Chain webinar in a few hours on AEM Journaler, which is an Australian startup that connects with 10,000 coins, tokens. Chains,
yeah, so those AEM Journal has been around, started out in the NEM community
Yeah, it's been around a couple of years now. They're at the RMIT hub, Blockchain Innovation Hub. That's where they're based, and they're building out a good subledger tool for people who have crypto in their business and need to get it into an accounting system. You can't just connect the blockchain through an API to Xero. It doesn't work. There's no API to the blockchain. So you need to have a subledger tool that indexes data from the blockchain into a readable, organizable format that can then be categorized and to get, so you can't get like a bank feed into Xero from your exchange or from your wallet. You have to pull that data into a subledger tool like Journaler, and then it needs to be worked on in there before it can be brought into your accounting software. But they're also building out some other tools which I'm interested to learn about today. Their wallets and you can see on the website they've got a few more features. That's what we do every week or two, is just learn about the sort of the business tooling that's out there to help us grow our crypto enterprises.
Yeah, cool. So once we get rolling with the Stacks projects, well, we actually have one, the School of Bitcoin. So School of Bitcoin will be using AM Journaler, will it?
Well, Digital Playhouse Foundation is set up on AM Journaler. They support Stacks. We're just tweaking a few things at the moment, but so all the feeds are coming in and algo. So it's the first one I found that has actually got the connections to the and it's Australian to the ones that we have. So
okay, sure, because you dive around a lot in the accounting world and applications for accounting. So I know that when projects are early, say 12 months ago, AM Journaler, we were learning, going through things. It takes quite long to build out these systems. Is that right?
And you can start with a tool, and it just doesn't have what you need, and it puts your book for many, many months. So I think we're getting close to it now. But I spoke to a fellow accountant who deals with a lot of startups at XeroCon, and he said he has not come across a single crypto tool. He's been dealing with alone for a long time, and he said he can't find any tooling that's been really satisfactory. It's a very difficult manual job keeping the books for business.
Right on.
Crypto. Hopefully it'll improve over time. That's what we're working on, because for businesses to be successful and for there to be widespread adoption, you need to be able to operate in a mainstream way.
So is accounting for a crypto company pretty much at the moment just back to the old shoebox of receipts type day? We
do have that problem. That was discussed at XeroCon too, is that accountants are facing, businesses that are just, and sole traders that are just months, years behind because they've not sorted out their crypto. And it's a big mess and no one has time to sort it out. And it's an audit risk. So, and you don't want to be putting out fires when your enterprise is growing. You want to be keeping up, running, not putting out fires. So it's a problem to solve at the moment, and that's why I'm keenly looking at it. I'm not wanting to do the accounting for all the businesses that are using crypto. I can have greater social impact if I can encourage accountants to use these tools and work with the developers to make them work how they need them to, so that they can then help the businesses are onboarding to Web3 or just buying crypto for the first time.
Excellent.
I don't end up in a mess.
As I look around, I've come across a few different resources which I think are excellent that Stacks isn't on as well. I think if anyone's out there and they're finding as they move around these different circles of applications where you think this is a great resource that Stacks needs to be on, is documenting that and sending it through to the the team builders in Stacks.
Will do, because the support's there. And look, Accountants on Chain is the short. accountantsonchain.com is the shortcut to the all the events that we have. And it's not just for accountants. Businesses would also be interested in watching those sessions, because they tell you what you need to know to be able to run your business in Web3.
I'll just bring up that.
We have weekly, fortnightly education, knowledge sharing sessions, often with software developers telling us their journey. Yeah, So you can see here, I redesigned the web page last week, but it's really just an extension of it's the digital playhouse web page. And there's an article there about what I talked about at the zero.
Yeah, that's great. I actually read that. It was fantastic. It was
a lot of fun.
You covered a lot of great things, and here's the event. So for anyone that's around today, what time's your event on today with AM Journal?
12:30.
12:30. Perfect.
Yeah.
I'm going to be jumping
and while
in.
you're there, book into the next one, because that's going to be brilliant. That's going to be about it. That's with a lawyer, Julian Cheng, who recommends legal structures for DAOs, and he's worked on them hands-on.
And from Australia?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's with Gilbert and Tobin, so he's a tax lawyer. So
Well, yeah, look, these are
and
such
Utopia
important...
Labs for paying people in DAOs.
Yeah, sure. I think Immutable X, Alluvium, I think they use Utopia Labs.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about all the implementation issues and things to prepare for. Good old Sila venue.
I think we're extremely fortunate to have you at the School of Bitcoin for, I think we're going to see a lot of projects get developed out on Stacks over the next year. And out of being out of Australia, and one of the great things is for everyone in the team here to know, everyone in the community to know that we've got someone who's leading the charge out there, or in the pack of people working hard to improve the systems, so your startup becomes successful and compliant. That's great, Electra.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a knowledge sharing project, because you can't be a knowledge hoarder these days. We've all just got to share to keep up and bring our existing skill sets into this space to contribute.
Yeah, I think it's one of the things. I mean, all of us in crypto know that why we're here. One of the reasons is it's just so much fun.
Yeah,
the crypto community. It's like this. It's not like who's going to get what share of the business. It's just there's so much out there. There's so many opportunities in this space. It's so exciting and such a wonderful community.
They're the best people to hang around, and we're on our way. I don't know if you're coming, but we're going to CryptoCon this weekend, and there are some incredible speakers at that. It's going to be a lot better than I expected, actually, by the look of it. So I've got about a dozen friends going to that in my accounting community. So I'm taking a little newbie accountants tour.
Yeah, so anyone that's in and around the Gold Coast this weekend, Australia's largest crypto event. It was quite interesting. I was thinking, can you just take note to see if there's a Bitcoin stand there?
I will have a look. There's been some comments that it's going to be a bit of a Bitcoin maxi party, because the Ethereum people will be very busy at their computers with the merge. I don't know if that's true.
Look at that. It's definitely
he's not actually attending, unfortunately, but he's just going to be zoomed in.
That is incredible. So we are going to see some serious Bitcoin. So I think it'd be great to see, one thing you learn about Bitcoin, and there is a number of groups that are working around the world to support the Bitcoin network. Yeah. I'll compile some things for next week about those different contributions and who's driving. So there's community-led initiatives for mining, community-led initiatives for assisting and supporting Bitcoin developers. Michael Saylor does talk a lot about these. Yeah. And it's probably one of the key drivers behind it as well. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm not going down. I'd love to go, but I've got too many things going on here to build out locally. So I know Electra's got a bunch of
there'll be lots of talk on adoption. So I'll be going along to those sessions on how to support adoption.
Yeah, it looks like it looks more of a Main Street project, like convention, where it's probably like each year in Brisbane they have what do they have, the show? What's the show called there?
Blockchain.
The show is on at the Ekka every year for the farming community and the rides.
Yeah,
so
it's kind of like that.
Being on the Gold Coast, I think it's going to be a pretty exciting place. I think you'll have all sorts of people.
I'll write an article on the highlights, and just a point with I'm using Otter AI to transcribe, get transcripts from videos. So I think these weekly meetups, we could pump out a little article each week from them as well.
Nice. That was on my list actually to have a chat with you about, because there's so many great things we can do some write-ups and blogs about. So great.
Yeah, you just got to be able to sit down and slam it out. It gets easy. I find it very hard to write. I'm a perfectionist. Can't get over it. But yeah, having Otter AI it helps you to just get the conversation and turn it into an article more quickly.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Right. Well, if we haven't got anything else, we might wrap it up, eh?
Yeah. Okay. Well, for those who've been watching, look forward to seeing you next week if you can make it. Bring your ideas and
tell us what you've been doing in your community. I think, yeah, and getting a good focus back on the School of Bitcoin. We're bringing stacks on, getting all the different channels and everything happening. I think we're ready to really get back into the School of Bitcoin in a big way.
Yeah, definitely.
Thanks, Electra. Appreciate your time today. Bye.
See ya.